Good morning, everyone. This is Mike Rennick. I'm the senior broker, team leader of Team Rennick Real Estate Services, which is part of that great organization, Keller Williams on the Water. We cover Sarasota, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, Venice, and all of the island properties. I'm happy to be here with you today. Let me just share this. I'm dressed a little more casual. Today is Memorial Day. And let's take just a second to stop and thank from our hearts all the men and the women who've given their lives for this country in service. That's what Memorial Day is all about. Why am I here today on a holiday? It's because of the commitment I made to you. And that's how we operate. It's all about you. It's not about us. And I promised last week that we would do this show, and I had forgotten all about what day it was, but that doesn't matter because promises mean more than anything else. So as we sit here, and as it turns out, I'm going to spend most of the day here working. We've got showings with clients today and stuff like that, and I'm proud of that. But the reason we provide this data is twofold. One, whether you're a buyer or a seller, understanding the market is key because your agent needs to behave differently depending on market conditions to get the best deal for you. Whether you're selling for the highest price or you're trying to buy at the most reasonable price out there, this data is important. Two, so we do it for that reason, but two, it also demonstrates how deep we go into the market. I can provide this data for you all the way into a city aspect. I can do it a county aspect. I can do it down to a subdivision. I can do it to a condo association. Just reach out and let me know what you're looking for, and we can take it from there. So this is unscripted. If I hit the right buttons, things will work out. If not, things might change a little bit. So bear with me. I apologize. We're going to continue to do this on a weekly basis. Let me see if I can get the banner out of there. And let's talk about the data right now. So when we look at Longboat Key, what we have is we see last month there were 69 sales. 67 occurred. There were 67 sales the month before and 53 sales the year before. So we're up both from last month and last year. That's a good news story. Sales are still strong and they're continuing to climb. If we look at what's available as we ended April, May's data will be out in a couple of weeks. But as we ended April, there were 365 properties on the market. Last month, when we ended, there was 391 the month prior and 448 last year. So the number of property sales are up. The number of available things to buy properties are down. Let's take a look at where the future is in terms of what we currently have under contract. As we closed April, there were 76 here in Longboat. That's up from 75 the month earlier, and that's up from 48 units the year earlier. So everything points to a strong market. Things continue to move forward. The forecasts I've seen says it's going to be more of the same for at least the next couple of years. Let's take a deeper dive. So what's happening in the market? When we look at average square footage price, we have to be careful because there could be a different mix of homes and vacant lands and condos that were sold. But in April of 2018, the average price here on Longboat was $475 a square foot. That's down from $478 the month before, but that's up from $456 from a year ago. So still good news, that in and of itself, because we may sell more properties over $2 million this year, and last year they were between $1 and $2 million or below $1 million. So that changes that figure a little bit. The key is the market continues to grow and it's strong. Let's look at days on the market now. There we go. So if we look at average days on the market, how long, when you list your home, how long can you relatively expect before it sells if it's priced right? Well, in April, we saw it was about 130 days was the average. That's a little bit higher than the month before at 114. That's also a little bit higher than it was last year. So it's taking a little bit longer to achieve those results that I showed just a couple of minutes ago. Let's look at the average price folks are asking out there. So in April, we saw 1.1 million was the average asking price. That's up a little bit from the month before. It's $1,078,000. It's down a little bit from, that should say last year. I'll fix that typo on here. I see two typos on here. I apologize for that. I went through this last night. It's down from 1.149, 1,149,000 from the year before. The average sold price, what I just covered was the average for sale. The average sold price was $811,000 in April. That's down from 919 last month and down from $847,000 last year. Excuse me, I've been wrestling with a cold for the past couple of days. I will fix those typos on that chart before this thing gets published. I promise you that. So let's take a look at, with the current inventory that we have, how long is it going to take to get everything sold? So for example, if we look at the number of closed sales, what's happening in the market, and we look at current inventory, months of inventory out there is 5.3. So if nothing comes on the market after today, which isn't going to happen, but hypothetically, to get everything sold today is going to take 5.3 months. That's down, which is good news, from last month. It's also down 37.9% from last year. And we'll get those typos fixed. I apologize. This is what happens when we go live and unedited. You see, the important thing to me is getting the right information out to you, and I will fix what happened when we updated the charts. One other metric I like to look at is absorption rate. So absorption rate is how fast things are selling each month. So the higher the number, things are selling faster. The lower the number, they're selling slower. So in April, the absorption rate was 18.9 per month. That's up from 17.1 from last month. That's also up from last year. So another good news story. So when we look at Longboat Key overall, the market continues to grow. It continues to get stronger. Folks are getting better pricing, better price for their homes. See if I can bring this back here. So what's important here is the agent needs to know how to maneuver inside of these numbers, these metrics. It clearly is favoring the sellers right now a little bit. The thing that balances it back on the buyer side is that we've got all the phone apps, smartphone apps. You can use Realtor, Trulia, Zillow. We have our own smartphone app here at Team Rennick, put out by Keller Williams. So it balances out a little bit, but the key is it's a healthy economy from a real estate perspective. Things continue to move forward. Let me share one bit of trivia that many folks were never exposed to. Everyone understands that we have more folks down on the island during the winter months. That's considered the selling season for this part of Florida. The last time I looked at the data over the past few years, July and August had the highest closing. So even though more people are here looking at properties in the winter, we have more closed sales when we put everything on a relative basis in the summer months, July and August. What that means is it's folks who are using technology today. The old ways of doing things don't work any longer, or they're not as effective. So it's all about technology so that folks can see your properties remotely. If you're a buyer, you want to be able to see things available in Longboat Key when you need them on your requirements from back home. If you're a seller, your agent needs to know how to leverage all of these to reach those kind of buyers. So if you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me, either at mike@teamrennick.com, or my personal cell is 941-400-8735. I'd be happy to walk you through these numbers again. I'd be happy to take a look at your market. No matter when you plan to buy or no matter when you plan to sell, staying on top of what's happening is key. And we promise we'll be here every Monday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time, to bring you the latest information. We'll move around with different cities. If there's an area you want us to focus on these broadcasts, just reach out and let me know. I'd be happy to do that. Again, I want to thank you for your time this morning. I was really, hoping to get through this without that cough. But from the bottom of my heart and everyone at Team Rennick and Keller Williams on the Water, we wish you the best, the safest, and the happiest Memorial Day ever. Take care of everyone. Let me know how I can help.